So, Jack, since we last sat down, which was last year, we seem to do one of these every year, which I feel like we should carry on as a tradition.
Definitely.
What's changed in life, business, if you can recall that conversation?
Uh, what has changed? It. I think from the past year, I was I was particularly focused on sourcing.
Hmm.
I can't quite remember what else where we were up to.
HomeSpot.
HomeSpot was going. Yep, we were doing HomeSpot. That was interesting. Okay, so what's changed since then? Sourcing still going strong. Really, really strong. Actually, we're doing really well. I'm enjoying it a lot more. I think I've got kind of a fresh passion and excitement for it. I think I got to a stage last year where it was just becoming routine, very familiar. But I'm really starting to enjoy it and get life out of it again, working with some great investors, helping them build portfolios, and I love it. We've done the HomeSpot. That was really good. However, I made a video on this. It all kind of went to pot. I don't know if I've even told you about this.
No, go on.
I made a video about it. So we ran an estate agency. It's called HomeSpot, and it was me and two other people, and we went too big too soon, in my opinion. So I didn't have any majorly experienced members of team. So I didn't have any estate agents on my team. It was me and a couple of people who were new to the property industry. And the other thing was we went too big, too broad, too quickly. So we were a nationwide estate agency. So we sold apartments down in London. We sold houses up in Newcastle. We sold a bunch of stuff around Manchester, Birmingham, Leicester, or literally just stuff anywhere and everywhere. Do you want to sell your house? Yes, we'll sell it. Was essentially the model, just whatever you want. So we went for that. We went very big. It didn't work out. We were competing with your Purple Bricks, your Yopas, your huge conglomerate estate agents who have monstrous marketing budgets. So it just was really, really difficult to scale it when we started so big in the first place. So we canned that off. However, in January, I've brought in a new partner, two new partners, one of which has experience running multiple estate agencies in the south of Manchester. And so we're leveraging his expertise. He's going to be the managing director. The other business partner and myself, we are really putting a lot of capital behind it, time, really trying to push that business and get that off the ground, bring in staff as quickly as possible, get the right processes in place as quickly as possible. And as soon as that's up and running, me and my other business partner, Tom, we're really going to be taking a step back from that and be quite hands-off with it. If they need us, we'll be here. Otherwise, run it how you want. So that's the new goal with HomeSpot. We're also concentrating heavily on Greater Manchester. We're not really going too far around that. So trying to niche down in location. So we've got the sourcing business. We've got HomeSpot, which is revitalised, back up and running with a fresh team. And then we've also started a training business. So the Property Network is in the same way you've got Property X,
Yep.
you've got the Property Network, and it encompasses a lot of my investments, sourcing, the trades that we do, but also now an education program. So I teach people to source deals and do what I've done, really.
Fantastic. And you seeing like results from that? You're enjoying that?
Yeah. So we started it in January, and we run we call it Deal Selling Launchpad. So it's to help people come together for a full day, learn how to source deals, and learn how to start and launch that business.
Yep.
We spent a whole day on that. We've done that once a month, every month since January, and it's gone incredibly well. We've got people making literally tens of thousands of pounds off the back of it.
Brilliant.
It's bonkers, and I love it, and I love being around people and stirring up excitement and vision and seeing other people get passionate and excited about property, and also having those light bulb moments where they go, wait, if I actually just follow these steps, I actually can do this as well. This isn't just something that I have to pay 100 grand to learn about, and this isn't something I have to go to mega mentorship programs to do. I can actually just learn how to do this, follow these steps, and make money. And
Yeah,
it's
because
great.
often some of the biggest learnings in the initial stages come from a bit of guidance, a bit of mentorship, but then actually just action, action, action.
Yeah.
So, no, that's cool. That's really good to hear. And actually, I mean, that leads perfectly, I guess, into the next question. Maybe somewhat covers it. I was going to ask you, you know, do you think in 2023 that sourcing is still a really good way for a beginner to start in property?
Yeah, I think it's a great um, it's a great strategy. It's a business model. It's not necessarily because people talk about it as an investment strategy. It's not an investment strategy because you're not investing. It's a business model, a property business, and I think it's a great business to have. I think people are like, "Oh, is it oversaturated or whatever?" But the reality is, we're estate agents. We're buying agents. We represent investment buyers, and we go and find properties. Are there people still looking to buy houses? Yes. Are there still properties to buy? Yes. We're still in business, and it's a great business to get into. It's not oversaturated, and I think, unfortunately, as you know, the industry is filled with a lot of cowboys, and so actually to stand out in the deal packaging industry, actually, if you get compliant, if you have the right procedures in place, and if you have ethics and a moral compass, you actually stand out from the crowd. So it's still a great industry to get into and a great business to get into for a beginner, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. And then the only other thing you can add to that is just results, isn't it? Again,
Yeah,
it's just from just showing that, yeah, I've sourced this deal. This is why it's a great deal.
yeah,
And this is how we help that client.
yeah. It's content, isn't it? For me and you, content, YouTube
Yeah,
content,
yeah.
social media content, it's been essential to our businesses. And I've said to people, when you're sourcing deals, just film everything. Take photos of every viewing you go on. Write a post about it, and write three things
Share.
you learn on that viewing, or whatever. Just content,
Yeah.
and you'll build up a great business pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's so true. That's exactly what I did when I started investing, but just for investing, you
Yeah.
know. So then if you do that from investment or sourcing, you know, from that standpoint, it's brilliant, right? So good. Well, that's really good to know. And I think for a lot of people that would sit and would look at you and I, and they'd go, right, you know, you've got reasonably good sized sourcing businesses, but you both got YouTube channels. So just as a quick exercise for you and I, you know, if we were to strip you of your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your mailing list. Mailing list is a big
Yeah.
one in sourcing. And you start again tomorrow. You understand the game, you just don't have any of the contacts. Where would you start and to quickly get yourself to 3K a month, let's say?
To 3K a month, I do two things in parallel. So firstly, I'll be reaching out to reputable deal packages, deal sources who have businesses that work. I'm assuming you've still got, in this theoretical world, have you still got your business that runs?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd come to you and I'd bring deals to you, and I'd access your, or you would send the deals out to your investment list, and we maybe go 50-50 on the fee or thirds or whatever it is, and I'd do that and start building up some capital that way. Alongside that, I'd be building up my own investor list. So that would be getting back onto social media, posting the content, starting today. But also another tip that I give people is LinkedIn is so powerful. If you go onto Google and you type in property investor, Manchester, LinkedIn, and you just search that on Google, it will literally give you a list of everybody on LinkedIn who's based in Manchester who has in their title that they are a property investor. And I'd just go onto every single account and I'd connect with all of them and I'd say, hey, I've got this property. It's worth £150,000. I've got it for 115. Would you buy it? Or are you interested? And I'd start those conversations and I'd start getting those people's details and getting them onto my list. I'd do a bit of guerrilla marketing, just getting out there, just hunting people down.
And I think that's the main thing. You just got to go hell for leather, haven't you?
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree. Like if I was asked that question the other way around, those are the things I'd have done, because you need to sell deals to make money at the end of the day, but you also need to start building up that investor list. You need to have people that you know you're finding properties for, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, I don't know what you think, but I think like 3,000 a month, you know, sounds like a lot for some people if they've never done it before, but actually it's quite achievable. It doesn't always come instantly because it takes a few months for deals to go through, pipeline to build. But I feel like it is very achievable quite quickly. Would you agree on
Yeah,
that?
you treat it like a conveyor belt, don't you? And I say this to a lot of my students, my clients. I say to them, you've got to see it as a conveyor belt. you put a deal on this side and say, let's in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, 5 months' time, that deal's going to complete and you're going to get paid. But you're not going to get paid today. So don't just put the deal on, wait 4 months, then it drops off on the other end and you go, yes, got paid.
Yeah.
Let's find another one. You just got to go, no, let's go, right, here's one deal, here's another deal, here's another deal. And then eventually, in 3 or 4 months' time, whilst there is that delay, that means that when you do start getting paid, you continue to get paid over and over again. And like you say, it sounds, $3,000 a month sounds like a lot of money. But the reality is, even if you're going 50-50 on a fee, that's what, 2 deals?
Yeah.
Two deals in a month, which at the moment is 100% achievable.
Yes.
I 100% believe that.
No, I agree. It's just for someone that hasn't got proof of concept, it can seem like a lot of money. But no, I think that's the perfect analogy to explain it. It's the conveyor belt. It's just continuously add to your your pipeline, find deals. So good. Nice. I was interested to see how you'd tackle those kind of answers, but that's interesting. If we part the business side of things for a second, on the kind of more investment side or property side, in terms of like ownership and stuff. What are your plans there? Because previously you've done flips, then you've gone into sourcing. What are you doing now? You doing flips, or what is the plan there?
Yeah, so we are we're trading property. So we're buying something in Wigan at the moment. We're going to be completing on that, and we're going to be just selling it straight away, just putting it into an auction and getting that sold. So quick trades, smaller profit margins, but a lot more deals to be done and a much quicker turnaround, which I like. And so in the space of 6 to 9 months, we can make more money making less profit per deal, but by doing more deals in that time frame than doing a buy one, spend 2 months, 3 months renovating it, stick it on the market, sell it to a first time buyer, and it takes 3-4 months to go through.
Yeah.
That's my strategy at the moment when it comes to buying and selling. We're just trading. I call it trading.
Yeah,
It's just a buy it, don't renovate it, and just sell it. But having said that, this is the first year where I'm actually exploring the idea of buying and holding.
Okay.
Up until this year, partly because of like just company taxes and stuff like that, and track record of income. I didn't actually explore the idea of investing in property to hold, and then about a year ago I was able to, you need 2 or 3 years trading before you can get a mortgage. I didn't really think that through when I quit my job, so I quit my job and then had to do a couple of years of running the business before we could explore buying and holding. And then last year it just felt ridiculous, the idea of buying and holding something when house prices were going through the roof. And so again, I just didn't really explore that idea. But this year, this is the first year where I'm going to be going and trying to build a portfolio where I'm going to be buying it to hold and to rent out. And I'm even exploring HMOs.
Are you?
Yeah, which is not something I thought I'd be doing. But I'm really considering it because I like the look of them.
Talk to me about the comparison between a buy-to-let and a HMO. Is it cash flow? What's the driving force behind that?
The driving force is the cash flow.
Yeah.
On a personal note, I'm expecting a little baby in June. Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Did you not?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm
Congrats.
expecting a little girl coming in June,
amazing.
which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And so me and my wife, we are going through the process of buying a home. We currently rent where we live. So baby's coming, so we're just deciding rather than taking a step back, we're jumping all in every aspect. So we're looking to buy a house that we're going to be renovating and then moving into. And then we're also looking to buy and rent out. And the reason I bring it up is because we are looking for that cash flow from HMOs. Fine. Because I'd like to be able to, I don't know, just the idea of now growing a family, I'm thinking that to have that backbone, that foundation of cash flow every month is quite nice. We make enough money to live, but just to know that there's that constant, so no matter what, we've got that constant cash flow coming in. That's quite appealing. And so comparing it to HMO to a single let, if we're going to make, especially with interest rates at the moment, I don't know how you're finding it. You probably fixed yours just before the interest rates started spiking up. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know about it. Yeah. So for you, it's probably not a problem. But if we're going to be buying something now, or say you wanted to remortgage something, we're looking at about 4.55% interest, which on a single let, where you might have been making £250, £300 profit per month, that drops down to what, £100, £50. And for me, there's just no point in putting all that effort in for £50 a month. I know you get the property, I know you get capital growth, and I'm 100% on board with that. But for my immediate to medium term goals, my short to medium term goals, it is that cash flow, and that has to be the priority. And so a single let just doesn't feel like it.
No,
Works for me.
It's really interesting to get your point of view on that, and I think for anyone listening, like, I would never recommend if it's if something's cash flowing under 100 a month, don't touch it, because it's just not worth the risk. Fortunately, so what I'm finding with mine is like, I locked in a lot of interest rates. I am doing a couple of refinances on BRR deals I did, and obviously they're at around the 5%.
But it's more important in those situations, I'm guessing, to pull the equity out than it is to make the cash
100%. Yeah, 100%. So they're looking at like 170, 180 profit per month, which is a bit dire, but you get the capital out.
Yeah.
Still finding for clients, you can get turnkeys with like 250. I think the saving grace has just been the increase in rents. If we hadn't had that, things would be a very difficult situation right now. But no, I just, again, really interested to hear your take on that. I'm glad to see you joining the long game and
getting into it.
But I think ultimately it's great to do a combination, right? To do those trades, make that quick profit, that quick money, and like you, I did my first one of those last year, where I could have gone in, done that full refurb, but I decided, I'll buy it. I'll straight away going to sell it with no refurb, because you keep the pool of the market open, don't you, to investors or first-time buyers, rather than spend that money, only to narrow down that target audience and maybe make $5,000 more. But for me, that came with ultimately a lot more risk. So so no, good. Last question, because I wanted to just get your thoughts on kind of what the next 12 months looks like for you as a business in the market. Do you think it's going to be a good year? Do you think it's going to be a tough year?
It depends who you are as to whether it's going to be tough. I think, me personally, I'm going to be looking to buy and hold some stuff. Again, HMOs, the idea being that we'll probably do 3 HMOs this year. Okay. That's the plan.
Brilliant.
With then the idea that we'll have some cash flow coming in that's just a base level to start with, which will then enable us to then start buying buy-to-let, single lets in more strategic areas for the purpose of capital appreciation, so that in the next 5-10 years, as things start to go up,
it starts to snowball.
It snowballs. We can pull out more equity and put that into other stuff. But the short term, get the cash flow in to then enable us to look more medium to long term. With the market, because we're speaking to quite a few mortgage brokers at the minute, talking through a lot of different things. I know that at the point of recording this, a few banks have actually just dropped their interest rates. I was looking at a personal residential mortgage a month ago with one broker and got quoted 5%, and then went to a different broker this morning actually, and they've quoted me 4.6.
Okay.
So it is coming down.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to go back to 1%, 2% interest rates. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't have a crystal ball, and you don't know what's going to come, and so you just have to work with whatever the market does. I do feel as though the interest rates will stabilise at around 3 to 4%, and I think it will just kind of stay there for a while. I think the market is going to catch up with itself. Property prices will come down. I don't think we're going to see a huge crash. Personally, I can't see that happening. I do see a decrease in the market. And already at the moment, having said that, already what I'm seeing with the market, because and you'll be the same, because we source deals, we do so many transactions. The trend that I'm seeing in the market at the moment is that property prices are still very high because people still think their house is worth so much. And the problem is that there's not as many buyers out there. And so where you used to call up an estate agent and say, can I book in for a viewing? And they would say, sorry, it's been on the market for half an hour and we've already got 40 viewings and there's no spaces left. Now you can have properties that are on the market in great areas at a reasonable price. 3-4 weeks later, we've only had a couple of viewings, no offers. It's happening. People don't realise it yet. And so we are finding a lot of our properties on the market and we've literally got stuff in legals at the moment where we secured them £40,000-50,000 below the asking price, and this is properties that are 200 grand or less.
Yeah.
So I think gradually, as land registry starts updating and valuers start realising, and estate agents more than anything start to realise actually the market isn't booming in the same way it was, I do think we're going to see a small decrease, but I can't see it being dramatic over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I'd agree with majority of what you said there. Like in terms of interest rates, in terms of, I don't think we'll see a crash, but we'll see a, general plateau and decrease for sure. But very, really wanted to hear your view on that, because we are in the day-to-days of very similar role, aren't we?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we just see it from a very similar perspective. So
Yeah, and we kind of, what we're able to do as property sources, as people who are in it all the time, we're able to see what is happening now, what's happened over the past 6 months and 12 months, and so what does that make me think is going to happen in the long term?
Mm-hmm.
And so I see banks decreasing their interest rates slowly, and like high street lenders, I'm thinking if they think it's going to go up, it's going to stay the same, or they're going to keep increasing it. So the fact that they're decreasing it for 2 to 5 year fixes makes me think, I think they're pretty confident it's going to at least stay around that kind of 4.5%, if not drop a little bit.
Yeah. Good. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's great. And thanks for coming on once again and sharing the great news about your little one.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I think this is the first time I've shared it publicly in a...
Well, there you go. What a great place to do it.
Good announcement.
Yeah, an exclusive. But no, as I say, I think we should do these every year, because I think we just grow so much as people, don't we? And
we change a lot, and a lot happens, and I just love being able to connect, especially because where we started around the same time. We started making YouTube videos around the same time. We've had a very similar journey. Our businesses are almost identical, and it's really rare to get people who go, you run a training business, I run a training business. You run a sourcing business, I run a sourcing business. You're looking to invest, I'm looking to invest. We do the same stuff, and yet I really want you to succeed as much as possible. I know that you're rooting for me in my business. We actually, behind the cameras, catch up for coffees and be like, here's how I would, get more deals in this. Like, we actually want to help each other, and I don't think there's enough of that. And so I love doing these chats, and thank you so much for having me on the channel.
Pleasure as always. I'll get you back on again very soon.
Maybe in a year.
Maybe in a year. Cheers,
Cool.
Jack.
See you in a bit.